get a load of this!
How's it going, guys? And I'm here today to take a look at Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. So, we've already reviewed two Shantae games here on this channel, and that's Risky's Revenge and Half Genie, Half Hero. So, with that in mind, it's time to look at these games out of order once again, as we look at the third game in the series, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. So, this has quickly become one of my favorite series of all time. I only started playing Shantae games this year, and I'm very happy I did, because I just discovered probably one of my favorite franchises of all time. And, you know, I kind of just, I heard about it around the internet here on YouTube, and I figured, why not give this series a try? It looks like something that I may like. It looks like a very classic style platformer. I love platforming games. I love characters like this, colorful characters, colorful worlds. It was the perfect franchise for me, I feel. So, without further ado, guys, let's take a look at this game, and I'm going to share my thoughts. So, this is the direct sequel to Risky's Revenge, and the game actually picks up right where Risky's Revenge left off. In the conclusion of Risky's Revenge, you defeated your arch-nemesis, Risky Boots, and lost your genie powers when you destroyed an evil doppelganger that Risky created by using your own magic against you. Now, in Pirate's Curse, Shantae is still just human, and not only that, but as we begin, another villain from Risky's Revenge emerges and is launching a full-scale assault on your hometown of Scuttletown. When we confront the Ammo Baron and destroy his tank, we are informed that we have just assaulted the owner of the town. Oh yeah, that's right, didn't we bring the town's deed to Ammo Baron in Risky's Revenge? That's right. And just like Risky's Revenge, we are once again fired as the guardian of the town and handed a court summons. It's tremendously hilarious how Shantae gleefully holds up the summons above her head like she discovered a valuable item. Gotta love that satire. I really enjoy this sense of continuity, how it's an all-new adventure, but we're still honoring the characters and story of the prior game, so those who played Risky's Revenge feel like playing the previous game actually mattered. I played this before Risky's Revenge, and I was actually wondering how Ammo Baron was all of a sudden in charge of your town, being that I had only played Half Genie Hero prior to this. So filling in that missing piece of the Shantae lore puzzle made it seem all the more effective. Plus, now the concept of Shantae not having her powers is used to full effect, because now instead of transforming into different animals, we will soon have new tools at our disposal instead. Shantae and Risky find themselves forced into a team-up as the looming threat of the return of the Pirate Master is upon them. Risky's weapons and even her henchmen, the Tinkerbats, are all gone. Risky explains to us that the Pirate Master plans to use dark magic to try and return to the land of the living. From here, we must accompany Risky as she acts as our navigator to take us to the various islands that house the dens of evil, in which Shantae must defeat the boss and recover Risky's stolen pirate equipment. On top of all that, we will also want to find all the mutated Tinkerbats that have now been transformed into bloodthirsty Cacklebats, and capture the dark magic they're housing. If you don't, you won't get a satisfying true ending, but they can be pretty tricky to find all of them, and you will literally have to check every square inch of the map to do so. Plus, the game still retains the Metroidvania element that brought Shantae to the dance in the first place. However, it kind of breaks from tradition by not having it be one big interconnected map due to the island traveling concept being introduced. It's a slight departure, however, because most of the exploration elements found in the two previous games are fully intact, but just presented in a slightly different, but definitely not the least bit detracting way. It works without a doubt, while giving us the ability to view parts of Shantae's world that we haven't seen before. Also, I like how many of the locales from Risky's Revenge and even the Game Boy return, such as the fields and the forest, even if they are different in design. But when you travel to the right from Scuttletown, you will enter the fields and then the forest in that order. Once again, a sense of continuity in this series. I appreciate small things like this because all too often games just completely change everything with each entry, and it's cool that Shantae kinda doubles as a cartoon show. There's world building, and when we return to this world, we remember these locales. It's like how the Ninja Turtles sewer lair basically look the same for each episode because that's their home. So why would it drastically change from episode to episode? It is the world the characters live in. Yeah, I know this can be viewed as repetitive or even lazy, but for this aspect of world building within a game's own universe, it's hard to criticize the developers at WayForward for holding so much value in its own material, preferring to stay grounded in its own universe. Of course, this was changed in Half Genie Hero, but Scuttletown is as present as ever. Now, in terms of the gameplay and the equipment, is the lack of transformation sorely missed? Does it ruin the game? I mean, this series was built on these transformations for 2 games straight, but now they're gone, and I must say they really aren't so missed because it's a refreshing change of pace, since the pirate equipment is just so damn cool to use, and it's all used in interesting and fun ways. There's something just so satisfying about using the pirate hat as a parachute to glide over hazards. I don't think I stressed this enough in my reviews of Risky's Revenge and Half Genie Hero, but the controls are simply perfect. Everything about the way Shantae controls, to the button layout, to how it feels to execute all the different functions of attacks and movement, they're all spot on and feel natural without any sense of awkwardness or lack of control. Plus, as you progress, movement becomes easier and faster, and towards the end of the game, your inventory becomes so expansive and you feel genuinely rewarded for making it so far and accomplishing progress. The Scimitar Dash will get you where you want to go fast, and you will run in a straight line as you take out every enemy in your way. And I love the parts in Propeller Town where you combine the dash with the hat glide to cross these giant chasms. The level of control you feel and being able to use your abilities to accomplish this harrowing feat just feels, well, great. Like the feeling you get taking to the skies with the cape in Super Mario World, or unleashing a spin dash in a Sonic game. It just feels right in the best way possible for a video game. The Canon Boost is another amazing addition to your repertoire, as you can explore literally the entire map by using the cannonballs to elevate yourself to new heights. And there's nothing quite like returning to an area that once had a section that was inaccessible due to you not having the necessary means for progression, and finally getting the opportunity to explore it with your new equipment. As you can tell, some of these small pleasures feel like bigger ones due to the great design of this game, and the islands and overall maps are structured in such a way that makes this enjoyment of progression possible. Plus, this time you have so much to upgrade. All of your equipment can be upgraded by 3 increments, so you're going to want to grab as many gems as possible so you can afford all of them at the store. And due to me gushing about all this intuitive pirate gear, I didn't even mention that Shantae still has her signature hair whip attack as her main attack, and its speed and power can be upgraded as well. So there's a ton of stuff to upgrade, to say the least. One of my favorite places to farm for the gems was on Spiderweb Island, where zombies constantly respawn. Just whip these zombies into submission, and with a little patience you'll have a truckload of gems to use on these upgrades. Now let's talk about the graphical stylings of this game. It looks exactly the same as Risky's Revenge, with a modern pixelated look. I love the look of the graphics, but to tell you the truth, and I know tons of fans disagree, but I just like the hand-drawn look of Half Genie Hero better, and I'm happy they chose to continue using it in the newest game, The Seven Sirens. Both look gorgeous to me, but I just love the hand-drawn style of graphics that we've seen in a lot of these retro-style video games as of late, such as Streets of Rage 4 and Monster Boy. These pixelated graphics still have charm, and so does the dialogue. There's tons of amusing exchanges between Shantae and her friends, as well as the villains, especially from the somewhat antagonistic Squid Baron, who complains about losing his boss status, referring to himself as a filler boss, which is just some really funny, self-aware, fourth wall shattering humor. It's just a fun game that doesn't take itself seriously, and I really enjoy the Shantae universe because of it. Also, things could get a little deep too, like when you meet Roddy Top's spirit in the Village of Lost Souls, which is, well, hell. It is quite literally a euphemism for hell. And the dialogue here is pretty revealing and makes a character whose intentions, which are not quite clear, a bit clearer. And it's done in an interesting, pretty heartstring tugging way. This is a drastic tonal switch, and I feel like moments like this and the Pirate Master being an undead threat make Pirate's Curse the darkest entry in the series to date. Also, this game is way more expansive in terms of dungeons when compared to Risky's Revenge, which had a measly 2 dungeons, which was understandable considering it was a much shorter game, but here we get 5 dungeons, or dens of evil if you will, and they're full of memorable set pieces and designs that keep you wanting to explore them and uncover all their secrets, and using the equipment you find within them to your advantage. There's puzzles to boot, and they're simple but always fun. But not this cage puzzle in the oubliette of suffering den. This thing is just a fucking pain in the ass. Figuring out which switches to hit and where to position the cages to progress is just simply maddening. Well, despite that, the equipment you find always feels necessary, and you use it in ways that just feels more expansive than even in certain Zelda games. It makes the equipment feel worthy of actually being in your inventory, and as I said, it's most importantly fun to use. I also love how the bosses are screen-filling monstrosities, such as this massive dragon or this big-ass spider. You could even consider this funny little part in the desert palace to be a mini dungeon of sorts, where Shantae, Roddy Top Sky, and Risky all get mistaken for the same princess, and you have to find them all and try to escape without being spotted by the guards. It's a fun deviation from your main mission, and the stealth element of avoiding the guards is a nice change of pace from platforming and combat. The game offers a fair challenge, but it's nothing too tasking. Sometimes figuring out what to do or where to go next may be your biggest challenge actually, but with experimentation of your abilities and talking to NPCs, you can pretty much figure most things out without too much of an issue. Maybe the most difficult non-dungeon part is trying to help your sort of friend Roddy Tops through a graveyard of horrors, and this requires a lot of precise timing and trial and error. It's an exciting, fast-paced sequence though, and not annoying, as you might think, because it keeps sending you back every time you get hit, which is very reminiscent of the indie game Celeste. But oh my goodness, the final stretch of the game when the Pirate Master finally emerges from his grave is a real hellstorm. Holy shit. This part right here with the monsters that spit you out all across the screen, and then getting the timing right to avoid these shifting pillars, is just a real shit show. And you gotta be right on the mark, I mean right on the marks, or you will not make it. Then you'll move on to a few more rooms where your platforming skills and timing are put to the extreme test with tons of trial and error, and then, oh my god, I need some oxygen. You have to battle against the fucking Pirate Master in a fight that, to call exhaustive, might be a criminally understated notion, because this guy takes so many hits, and he actually takes all your weapons, and you are left to your hair whip and secondary attacks. buy super pike balls and bubble shields for this battle, and don't make the same mistake I did and not bring enough healing items, because once you're here and you save, there's no going back to buy more. You're stuck and you must finish the game with what you have. And trust me, you will need every ounce of help you could get, because he has various phases, and once you do win, you will feel a sense of accomplishment that will make you feel like the sky's the limit. But you know, I guess this battle would have been a lot easier if I stocked up, because I didn't check a walkthrough prior to know that this boss was the mammoth that he is. And Jake Kaufman, you beautiful, beautiful man. This is truly a soundtrack for the ages, and even though a lot of the tracks were remixed and sound better on Half Genie Hero, I really love Sky's theme, which is just so relaxingly beautiful in melody, and the Spiderweb Island music, which just sounds so frantic and fits so perfectly with you running with Roddy Tops through the overly hectic graveyard. The soundtrack is just so funky and has a nice contrast of themes such as upbeat, comedic, unsettling, and mysterious. Whatever it is, it always feels like the appropriate music is playing for every setting and event. Overall, I gotta say this game has very few flaws. You could say the end trek through the palace and the final boss being a gigantic difficulty spike is a bit much, and I do feel it is genuinely a substantial jump in difficulty, but it does seem reasonable considering the Pirate Master is built up to be a truly menacing force to be reckoned with, and he, without a doubt, lives up to this billing. And perhaps it would have been nice to be able to return to the start of an island without having a flare in your inventory. Like sometimes I honestly forgot to stock up on these at the store. After completing a dungeon, it would have been nice to just be able to leave the island you're currently on whenever you want without having a spare flare. I don't see how this would have made the game any less difficult or make it too easy. It would have just been a nice, convenient, fast travel option. But it is an option in the game, you just have to remember to buy it. So that's mostly my fault. But yeah, this game looks great, plays great, sounds great. It's just a well-made game altogether, and I would recommend it even if you never played the other games, and I don't think it's necessary to do so, to be honest. It's not like you're missing out on really crucial lore or anything. The lead-in from Risky's Revenge, as I said, is a really nice sense of continuity, but you certainly won't be lost. So yeah, great game, go play it. Well guys, I hope you all enjoyed my review. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click the bells to get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. I want to thank all my patrons for your continued support. It means so much to me and to everybody who takes the time out to watch my videos. And guys, I will see you next time.